Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals, Quality Education, describes STEM and STEAM curriculum. There are currently two educational approaches to teaching children in the U.S., the STEM curriculum and the STEAM curriculum. STEM focuses on educating students in four specific disciplines: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM incorporates these principles into a cohesive paradigm that encourages motivation, engagement, and employs real-world applications. STEAM adds the arts to education and uses the 5 points to guide student inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. STEM supporters believe that curriculum naturally involves the arts. Examples include product design and the communication skills needed for language arts. STEAM supporters say incorporating the arts into the other disciplines devalues arts' importance. These two forms of teaching are not too different from each other. Exploring opportunities where art naturally fits into the STEM narrative can help create a healthy balance. Treating art as an applied subject, such as math and science, will give students a new discipline to learn that can also be applied to real-world situations. Design classes can help students learn how to create logos and organize information into presentations. Performing arts, like drama and speech, can help translate into technical writing and persuasive writing skills, which are abilities used in technology-driven and marketing career fields. Creative planning calls for students to use the right side of their brain to think outside of the box, which can come in handy when needing to create content and innovative thinking. Science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics are all important factors that make up the curriculum. Being able to learn about all of them will lead to well-rounded and versatile professionals. Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals, Quality Education, describes STEM and STEAM curriculum. There are currently two educational approaches to teaching children in the U.S., the STEM curriculum and the STEAM curriculum. STEM focuses on educating students in four specific disciplines: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM incorporates these principles into a cohesive paradigm that encourages motivation, engagement, and employs real-world applications. STEAM adds the arts to education and uses the 5 points to guide student inquiry, dialogue, and critical thinking. STEM supporters believe that curriculum naturally involves the arts. Examples include product design and the communication skills needed for language arts. STEAM supporters say incorporating the arts into the other disciplines devalues arts' importance. These two forms of teaching are not too different from each other. Exploring opportunities where art naturally fits into the STEM narrative can help create a healthy balance. Treating art as an applied subject, such as math and science, will give students a new discipline to learn that can also be applied to real-world situations. Design classes can help students learn how to create logos and organize information into presentations. Performing arts, like drama and speech, can help translate into technical writing and persuasive writing skills, which are abilities used in technology-driven and marketing career fields. Creative planning calls for students to use the right side of their brain to think outside of the box, which can come in handy when needing to create content and innovative thinking. Science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics are all important factors that make up the curriculum. Being able to learn about all of them will lead to well-rounded and versatile professionals.
So moving on to the next speaker, who is Dr. Christiana Nkuturum. Dr. Nkuturum is a lecturer at the University in Port Harcourt. Her research interests include applied mathematics, damage mechanics model, medical and hospital mathematics, applied dynamical systems, social and complex networks analysis, mathematical modeling, mathematical biology, as well as differential equation. So they will be talking to us today on building bridges to a sustainable future through mathematics literacy skills model. I'm eager to listen to this talk. So Dr. Nkuturum, you have the floor.
So the topic is building bridges to a sustainable future through mathematics literacy skill. So I have my content that runs through abstract to reference. The abstract is only telling us about the problem solved for this topic. So I take few definitions or few introduction about building bridges, preparing for future. And it is also figuring out the relationship and dynamics of mathematics literacy skill from the contemporary education systems to the next generation education, and also to establish time and cost for mathematics literacy skill to be well integrated and utilized in every present and then the next future. So what is sustainable future? We have a lot of definitions for sustainable future. And I take the last one, which says that it is expedient to build bridges to sustain future in order to alleviate concurrent issues of basic mathematics in education worldwide. So we have the definition of what is mathematics. I take the third one, is man's ability to teach and handle everyday arithmetic in order to develop mental activity with his talents to improve computation skills. Because mathematics is a subject that applied in man's daily activity to support his survival, business in the society, and the world at large. So we have a lot of definition about mathematics, what mathematics can do. So we have so numerous of it. The next slide is on literacy. We say literacy is a step to education, whereas education is the complete development of a person in terms of knowledge, sensibility, and most important behavior in different situations. That is why each one, when someone is graduating from education, the person is awarded the certificate in character and in learning. So what is skill? We have the explanation of skill that it is learned ability to act with determined result, with good execution, often with a given amount of time, energy, or both. We also have types of skill, but that's not what we are talking about. So we look at mathematics literacy. In this context, our mathematics literacy is considered to be what we call basic operations in mathematics. And this mathematics literacy skill we are talking about are the addition skill, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So I call it mathematics literacy skill because on one's habit, since it is the foundation of every learner, both skilled or unskilled, both literate and illiterate. As soon as you have this mathematics literacy skill, then you'll be able to stand and then future well in your field of study. Even if you are unskilled person, even if you are skilled person, in terms of learning, or when you are querying the skill, you also need to add, you need to subtract, you need to multiply, you need to divide. So by all these things, that is why I said it is a mathematics literacy skill, which is the foundation of every field of endeavor. Now, what is my motivation to this course? Over the years, I've been teaching and I've taught some people, some learners. You see them, when it gets to addition, you see them doing well. Subtraction, yes. Once you go to multiplication and division, you see them not well performing. And sometimes too, we give them 3 digits and above for them to add, and they find it difficult on how to combine the addition. Also, when you give some learners 3 digits to add, to subtract from one and from the other, they still find it difficult. And another thing that made me to go into this is what they find it difficult. Learners and teachers find it difficult to stay and teach mathematics literacy skill. They find it difficult to teach mathematics literacy skill from the known to the unknown. So from all these poor performance of our learners and their inability to carry out division and multiplication operations in basic operation in classroom settings, these are the things that motivated me to go into this one. And how do they move in? How do they move from one operation to the other? You can see that this study will find out the kind of dynamics, the kind of movement that is involved in this skill when they are learning in the classroom and out of the classroom. So this is the objective we have, to find out, to identify the mathematics literacy skill, the population, the parameter that influences it significantly, the type of dynamics involved, the skill that is easy to appear in this basic operation. Also, we want to find out the skill, the literacy skill that has interaction or intercoefficient with one another. We want to find what is the rate of utilization locally and globally. We also want to find out the impact of this mathematics literacy skill. So we say, okay, how do we say globally, mathematics literacy skill are influential supporter for building what bridges to a sustainable future. So through the models and mathematical methods, we will be able to do that. So the how now leads us to our materials and methods. The materials and methods shows the schematic flow of the mathematics literacy model. You look at the slide there, we are seeing a schematic flow showing the interaction between the addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. So this is the model. From the model, we have assumptions. The assumptions that back up the formulation of the equations. We say everyone has mathematics literacy, especially the addition. The factors such as sex, age, the demographical factors cannot affect the operation. And we also look at the assumption, we say, okay, that this population is a mixed population. And we have that the population is total is 100%, whether literate, illiterate, skilled and unskilled individuals. We have 100%, and each of these literacy skill has a proportion in which the population is tagged to it, and that is under the assumption. We say, okay, the population for the model used what incidence function. And here we have it that the initial condition is that at time 0, the S of 0 is greater or equal to 0, the same to multiplication and division. And also we have another initial value that A is equal to S, equal to M, equal to T, and equal to 1. So by the time you add these 4, it will give you what? 1, the proportion. We also look at the region. At what region is this mathematics literacy skill operating? It is a 4R. So it is a 4-dimensional region. So here we look at the region and we saw that this equation, from equation 2 to equation 5, that the addition of these skills is less than or equal to the recruitment rate, the ratio of the recruitment rate and the ratio of the recruitment rate to the ratio of leaving any of the compartments, which shows that it is positively invariant. And the model, which is the mathematical formulation of this mathematical literacy skill, is given as equation 2 for addition, equation 3 for subtraction, 4 for multiplication, 5 for division. And we said that the total population is given us equation 6. That is what we have. And this confirms that at infinity, at time infinity, that this population, the total population, is less than or equal to the ratio of the recruitment rate to the rate of leaving any compartment. Here we have the description of the variables. Now we say, okay, let's look at the equilibrium. At equilibrium, we find out that there is recruitment, meaning that people are entering into that scheme and people are also leaving, directly or indirectly. You look at it, we have R over alpha, meaning that this is the ratio of the entry, the recruitment, in which the people enter to learn addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And the alpha is the rate at which they leave each of it, either directly or indirectly. In this leaving and entering, if we take a school scenario, you can see that in a class, you see everybody learns addition, everybody learns mathematics literacy skill. But along the line, some people are conversant with one literacy skill or the other. And you see that some, we are not able to cope, we are not able to assimilate. That is the indirect movement of, that is the indirect movement. And it is tagged as what? The rate of leaving the skill. That's why we have alpha as what? Leaving the skill, or L. Alpha or L is the rate of leaving each of the skills. So upon calculating the equilibrium, we find out that all the eigenvalues are real and negative. And that shows that in a local scenario, it is locally asymptotically stable. So when we look at this mathematics literacy skill in a local domain, or if we take it to a small domain, you can see that we will conclude that everybody knows how to use this mathematics literacy skill. That is, we say, okay, that if all these eigenvalues are real and negative, then it is what? Locally asymptotically stable. And we went further to find the rate of utilization. And the rate of utilization is given as E sub n, which is equal to Q all over K plus F plus alpha. So the alpha, when you have this, by the time that this is E sub n is representing the rate of utilization in this equation, in this model. So from the equilibrium point, we have it from that equation 2 to 5 is asymptotically stable. If this utilization rate is less than 1, and if it is greater than 1, it means that it is unstable. We went further to define this equilibrium using the endemic equilibrium. It also proves that it is asymptotically stable. So that takes us to another slide, global stability of the equilibrium point. We tested for the global stability at R raised to power 4, that is in a 4-dimensional space. It's also showing us that it is what? Asymptotically stable for the equilibrium. Then when we now tested for the global stability of the endemic equilibrium, now this endemic equilibrium now, by the time we tested it in the what? Using 2R, using it in a 2-dimensional space, we find out that this endemic state is showing us that what? It is what? It is asymptotically what? Unstable. Meaning that everybody globally doesn't know how to use the 4 mathematics literacy skill. So it is telling us that all the population in the globe cannot perfectly operate with this mathematics in a global region. That is the asymptotically unstable. So our results now shows that we have our results here presented, that from here, the literacy skill, we found the equilibrium, and it shows that it is asymptotically stable in a local domain, and then unstable in a global domain. So this implies that only addition operation is well mastered, and subtraction, and also used by every individual globally. But the other two, which is multiplication and division, learners find it difficult to operate with it. Even at universities, as a mathematics teacher, there are some concepts you will teach. By the time it gets to multiplication and division, you see that students will not be able to do that addition, will not be able to do the subtraction, the multiplication and the division. So when we take the values of Q, K, F, and alpha, we had what? 1.125, and that shows that it is greater than 1, which makes it what? Asymptotically unstable, meaning that not everybody in the globe can operate with this mathematics literacy skill. Now we find out that the parameter that significantly affects the system is the rate of entering and the rate of leaving, which is our R over alpha. We also find out that the easiest skill that students learn is addition and subtraction. We find out that their movement is direct or indirect. Direct is when you are in a classroom scenario. You have to see them that, yes, out of 50, 45 of them can do the mathematics literacy skill perfectly well, and then 5 cannot do it. You are able to see them in a small domain. But when it is in a society, you wouldn't find out who knows how to handle it, and who knows how to operate it, and who does not know how to operate. That is the indirect dynamics involved in this mathematics literacy skill. So the sensitivity analysis also supports that the globally, that the local utilization is what? Less than 1, which is stable, and then the global utilization is greater than 1, which is unstable. Now, we also went further to see if what we have in the analytic results will conform to the numerical simulation results. We now saw that the graph of population for addition against time is showing us a normal distribution, telling us that the population that is divided, that is 100%, that a lot of them are clustered at the same time, meaning that we have so many people that know how to operate with addition. So this graph is showing what? A normal distribution, meaning that there is what? A good assimilation of addition skill. Now we move on to the next slide. The next slide is what? The graph of subtraction population of individual subtraction against time. This is showing us that this is asymptotically what? Increasing at this point. So you see that in subtraction, it is trying to have a normal distribution, but no, at some point here. So it now goes a constant rate. So this subtraction, yes, many people, the idea of addition enhances the learning of subtraction in this mathematics literacy skill. We move to the next slide of the next slide. This is the slide for population of individuals in multiplication against time. And this shows what? An exponential decrease, saying that the population globally, who at a point they know how to multiply, those that know how to multiply, it will go up. But because the population of people that do not know how to do this multiplication scheme, it will begin to what? To decrease. So this is what? An exponential decrease in terms of multiplication. Then the final slide for simulation is the graph of division against time. It's also showing us that it is what? Exponential decreasing. So this exponential decreasing is also telling us that not everybody globally can operate with the skill of division and multiplication in mathematics literacy skill. Okay, so our conclusion we now said, okay, based on what we have found out, discussion of results, although I have explained it as I was moving on. Now we move on to way forward in this mathematics literacy skill. How can it be built for a sustainable future? How can we also inculcate it to the future generation that they will be able to master this mathematics literacy skill so that the assimilation will also turn to normal distribution from addition to division. So that now leads us to the way forward, which is still the same as the sustainable future. For future, what do? We say, okay, for the way forward, this mathematics literacy skill should be built, or we should build an interaction model between mathematics literacy skill and artificial intelligence, plus what? Environment, social, and governance. So with these three, if these three can comply, it means that this mathematics literacy skill will be a thing of what? Success. So how do we do this? From this model, it is telling us that this mathematics literacy skill will be built into what? Artificial intelligence. So that even if artificial intelligence is taking the place of human teachers to teach a learner, it means that once a learner is operating with that artificial intelligence, the artificial intelligence will be able to teach the learner how to carry out the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And then we say, okay, that in that case, this government has a part to play. Environment and social status has a part to play. So we now brought in that environment, social, and governance. These three together can also play part by the government bringing in or building in mathematics literacy skill into AI as part of the curriculum. So that even if human being is no longer the teacher, then AI as a teacher for the learner will be able to still teach that mathematics literacy skill to the barest minimum of the understanding of the learner. So we also say that there's a movement from mathematics literacy, there's interaction from mathematics literacy skill to the government, and there's interaction from government. How do they interact? The government interact with mathematics literacy skill in terms of what? Curriculum design, curriculum development, and curriculum implementation. So that is how government and mathematics literacy skill interact. Then how does government interact with AI? It is what? By bringing in a policy that the curriculum should be built, and then that AI should be developed with what? That mathematics literacy skill should be built into AI so that it can also help learners. Okay, the next slide is the formation, because since it is way forward, we have to put the formulation of this model. We say, okay, population of mathematics literacy skill is MLS of T. Population of artificial intelligence is what? AI of T. And population of EGS, environment, social, and governance is with respect to time. So all these are with respect to time. Then when you talk of the total population globally will give you the population of those that are into mathematics literacy skill, AI, and governance, ESG, will make up what? The national population. So all these ones are the definition of the parameters. So we have the equation formulated, that with this equation, there will be what? A sustainable future through mathematics literacy skill, that the future generation will know much more about mathematics literacy skill, more than what this present generation know about it. So with this equation, we have underlying assumptions that support the building of this equation. We have the part that is for unused curriculum and all of that. And then finally, from conclusion, I conclude that this model shows that mathematics literacy skill is an epidemic, is a disease at all levels of education. And then we also say that this study will help learners and teachers to enhance their understanding of mathematics literacy skill. We also say that the recommendation, this paper recommends that curriculum planners should also give more time to the teaching and learning of this concept, mathematics literacy skill. Trained teachers of mathematics should also teach learners effectively and efficiently from simple to difficult concepts so that the students will learn well. And they shouldn't look down on mathematics literacy skill because it is the foundation of all the concepts and of all the operations in the field of study. Finally, I thank God for bringing us together and the opportunity given to me to be one of the speakers for this 2024 Global Conference. I wish us fruitful deliberations. Thank you and God bless you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr.
for
Christiana,
listening.
for that wonderful session. Actually, yeah, mathematics is nice. So I believe all the attendees, they gain a lot for this section. And because of our time, we won't be able to take any question for this section. So Doctor, can you please drop your email in the chat box in case we have questions for you, or your LinkedIn page for questions and all that. So